Good evening, everybody. Welcome to GXRS. It's the long awaited start of season 7. New drivers, new team combinations, and a few of the old names still in there as well. We have been joined by one of the regular drivers. We've got Ian, who this season is going to be in the Alpine teaming up with tech support. Good evening, Ian.
Hi mate, how are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Brand new season heading into Spain this evening. How do you think you're going to get on?
Um, I think it's gonna be like a decent race for my side, but although I don't have my wheel on me today, I'm based on the controller, so it's gonna be a bit let's say like harder for me. But I'll try to get a good what's it called? Good performance, I get in the top 10.
Yeah, and strong season from you last season, fourth in the World Championship in the end. What's your hopes going into this season? Do you think you're going to be trying to challenge for the championship this season?
I reckon if I attend most races, have good pace, I reckon I can fight for the title. I would hope for that, and yeah, let's see what it brings on.
Yeah, and you've got a very quick teammate as well in tech support. We've seen how quick he is over the last few seasons, so quite a good match up there at Alpine. Do you think you two can really push each other on?
I reckon so. Yeah, we've been teammates before, and it was a really good season. So I hope for the same.
Definitely. Well, good luck tonight. I hope you have a good race and good luck for the rest of the season as well.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate it.
No worries. So, as I said, brand new season, season 7 of GXRS. 15 race calendar. The reigning world champion is Goblin. He is going to be joining us, but a little bit later on this evening. Do have the Twitch chat up on my phone, so please do come and get involved. Say hello. Be great to hear from as many of you as possible. I will also do an onboard lap around this racetrack as well, so you can see the challenges of this Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona in Spain. As I said, new driver combinations throughout the grid. We've already heard from one of the Alpine drivers. He's teamed up with tech support. Some of the other drivers coming in there as well. Davis, who's been around for a few seasons now in the Mercedes. Meatbell has now got a full-time seat alongside the world champion Goblin at Ferrari. Pyro there has now got a full-time seat in the Alpha Tauri alongside Liam. Soapy Melons has just joined as well. He is in the McLaren, and we've got Ross in the Red Bull. Sorry, is Melons, and Ross is in the McLaren. So Irons is on, saying he's cheering on his mate Ant Waddington. So Ant, we've seen him a few times over the years. He's in a reserve role tonight, so it'll be great to see him back on the grid as well. And Arker there in also a reserve driver for this evening. So a few more minutes to go before we get going. But as I said, please do come and say hello. It'd be great to hear from as many of you as possible. It's great for me to be back in the comms box as well. Hopefully, I'll be a little bit more regular this season. But hard case is on as well. We've already got a hard case fan in as well this evening. He's in the Alfa Romeo. So full qualifying and a 33 lap race. As I said, it's the first race of 15 for this season 7. So what is going to happen tonight? So a couple of minutes and then we'll be underway with qualifying. So here we go. The drivers are starting to ready up now. So it won't be long before we are underway. First race of the season. CR Mac has joined as well. He is in the Red Bull on a regular basis. And our Kerr there is in the McLaren for this evening. But we are about to get underway. Full qualifying session. So a lot of the drivers, I think, will be practicing in this first session. So I don't think a lot of them have had a lot of practice so far this week. But here we go. As I said, I'll do an onboard lap with somebody as well. So you'll get to see the challenges of this racetrack. Been quite heavily changed a couple of times over the last few years. The slower final sector has been sped up a lot. So the tight corner down at turn 10 has been widened out. It's really, the track's gone back to its almost its original configuration when we first started coming back here in the 90s. Took out the slow final chicane as well, which a lot of the drivers hated anyway. So we are about to get underway. As I said, come do say hello. I've got the chat up on my screen. So it'll be great to hear from as many of you as possible. So who is going to be the first car to venture out onto the track? We've got 12 in the session, so everyone's going to make it into Q2. But as I said, it'll be quite a good bit of extra practice for some of the drivers. And you can see already a couple of drivers putting on medium tyres. There's no point burning up a set of soft tyres in this session when everyone's guaranteed to make it through. The only thing they're going to have to be careful of they don't crash out. Someone's requesting we watch Hard Case's flying lap. Yeah, that should be fine. I'll try and do the onboard lap with him. A couple of drivers are heading out onto the racetrack. Ross is the first one to venture out. And so is Meatball in the Ferrari. Those two are going out on medium tyres. But quite dusty there, you saw as they were coming down the pit lane. And we've got an Alpha Tauri heading out as well, which is Pyro. There he is. And the other McLaren of our Kerr is heading out as well now onto the racetrack. So is one of the Mercedes. I think that's Davis. It is indeed. So Davis now heading out onto track as well. So I would like to do an onboard with Hard Case, but he's not out on track yet. So I might have to do it with someone else. And lots of dust offline there. That is something the drivers are going to have to face in the race if they're trying to overtake someone. So, well, I'm afraid Hard Case isn't out on track yet, so I'm going to do the onboard lap with Ross. And here we go. Very fast last corner. Onto the pit straight. DRS zone here. And you build up the speed to over 200 miles an hour. Slightly uphill braking zone here. It's amazing how late you can brake for this corner. 95 into turn 1. Turn 2 about 105. And then look at this through turn 3. Absolutely flat. 150 miles an hour at the apex, but still accelerating all the way out. Keep it onto the left-hand side for turn 4. The late apex here again, 90 miles an hour. Let the car wander to the outside, then bring it immediately over to the right-hand side for the slowest corner on the circuit. The Sayat hairpin. Just 65 miles an hour. And then short, little back straight down to this very quick chicane at 95 miles an hour at the slowest point, immediately back on the throttle. Then up to the highest part of the track. And again, almost flat these days in these cars. Second DRS zone here down this back straight down towards the new reprofiled turn 10. Quite a late apex again, 70 miles an hour, early on the throttle. Bring it over to the left-hand side. Bank Sabadell, about 85 miles an hour. Long, frustrating corner. Wait before you can accelerate. Then the second to last corner, easy flat. Then listen to this. The slight is the list, 150 miles an hour for the final corner. and across the line, and Ross does a 1 minute 14.6. He is the first man to get a lap time on the board. Meatball's just behind him, and he does a 1 minute 12.7. And Hardcase saying he's changed steering wheels for this race, so he's going to struggle a little bit as Pyro goes into second place. All these drivers at the moment on the medium tyres. Arca here is on the on the soft compound, sorry. So let's see what he can do. CR Max out there as well on the set of medium. Tech Support and Davis out on soft tyres as well. As here comes Arca now, 1:15.1. And Davis there really throwing it through the last corner. He does a 13.3. That puts him third quickest at the moment. And here is the fan favourite request, Hardcase in the Alfa Romeo. Let's see what he can do. He is on his lap now. Tech Support is halfway through his lap. And there is a car going a little bit slowly. That's David trying to get out of the way. And already Hardcase has invalidated his lap. So Tech Support on a lap now in the Alpine on a set of soft tyres. Really throwing him into that last corner. Got a lot of confidence there. And not the quickest of laps, but it's all about just making it through here. 1:16.6. CR Mac goes across the line. He goes second fastest. That's a good lap time on those medium tyres. A 1:12.9. Soapy Melon's just starting his lap as well in the other Red Bull. And here is Liam in the other Alpha Tauri. And he's on a set of medium tyres as well. So let's see what Liam can do as he comes down to the last couple of corners. Looking very nicely close. And look at that, a 1:12.1. Fastest by a little way there, and also on the medium tyres. So the medium tyres at the moment do seem like they're giving a little bit better grip than those on the softs, which is unusual. But let's have a look now. Soapy Melon's on the soft tyres as he's in the final sector now. Oh, and he spins it. He spins it out Banks Abadell. He's got a bit too much throttle on and spins the car round. So is he going to just come in the pits, or is he going to go again? He's going to go again. But he's not exactly pushing it, so he might have enough to do a few laps there. Ant Waddington is on a lap, so is Hardcase as well. And Hardcase he validated this lap as well, so he's coming in. Here comes Ant Waddington now. Last corner, really attacked the curb on the inside. And he goes sixth fastest so far, a 1:13.1. So I don't know, maybe Soapy Melons is going to do another lap. And just build up the battery on this lap. But 1:23.0 was his lap. As I said, everyone's making it through from this session. So it doesn't matter too much as long as you don't pitch it into a wall, and you'll be out of qualifying altogether. So Ross has stayed out. This is his fifth lap now on this set of tyres. So as I said, a lot of drivers will be just getting a few extra laps in. Tech Support has gone second, by the way, 1:12.3. He's on the soft compound tyres. So still finding a little bit of pace with those. Let's have a look. What is Soapy Manager? Is he going to come in? No, he's going to try again. And let's have a look. Ross, about half a second down, but I don't think he's using much in the way, if any, battery on this lap. So, as I said, just a bit of reconnaissance laps for him here. So a few drivers retiring from the session as Ross comes through to complete this lap, and he does a 14.8, so he's lapping pretty consistently. So, Soapy Melons now, a couple of thousandths down on his best in the first sector. Of course, he spun in the final sector, so that's where he lost all his time. Through the fast right-hander, onto the back straight, second DRS zone. Let's see what his middle sector time's like. And he's nearly 3/10 of a second up, so he's finding some pace despite having slightly worn tyres. He is finding some good pace out there at the moment. Keeps it all together this time as he heads into the final corner. And let's see what this lap time is from him. He goes fastest of all, a 1:12.0. So an excellent lap there from Soapy Melons. On his third lap on those tyres, don't forget. So good effort from him. And Ross, I think, is still building up some battery. There's our Kerr. He's now out again in the McLaren. Ian is back out as well in the Alpine. And the other Alpha Tower is heading down the pits as well. Of Liam. No, he's in the pit, so it must be... yeah, it's Pyro that's out onto the track. There he is. So CR Mac out as well. Everyone going out on the same set of tyres. Tech Support still driving around at the moment. This is his 6th lap now on this set of tyres. So CR Mac now just starting his second run in this session. 5th fastest at the moment. Meatball, Ant Waddington and Davis have all retired from this session. So they don't feel the need for any extra practice. And CR Mac is improving a little bit in the first sector. Let's see what he can do in the middle part of this lap. Same set of tyres as well. Oh, and he spun it! He spun it! And CR Mac's out of the session. He spun it in the quick chicane and he's in the wall and he's out of qualifying. Disaster for him. He's going to start 12th on the grid. And right at the back. So, let's see if he'll come and chat to us and tell us what happened there. Don't know if he will. Some drivers don't like to come and talk to me while they've just had a crash like that. But anyway, Pyro is on a lap. He is improving a little bit in his first sector. Let's see if he can keep that going through the second sector. There's an Alpine going slowly. I think that, yeah, that's Ian. And Pyro, yes, a quarter of a second up in the middle sector on compared to his previous best. So 5th fastest at the moment. Oh, it does seem like there's a few drivers struggling with grip out there. Big slide there from Pyro on the way out of turn 11. And Pyro, he does improve, but not by much in the end. He remains 5th. On a 13.1. Ian does get a lap on the board. Here's Hardcase. Okay, that's okay, CR Mac, don't worry. But Hardcase is on a lap now. So he's the only driver now not to set a lap time so far in this session. And we know he's got a brand new wheel and setup. So let's see how he's getting on with that as he comes through turn 11 now. Again, another little bit of a slide. Just seems to be a little bit of lack of grip out there this evening so far. But Hardcase goes across the line. He goes 8th fastest, a 1:13.9. So everyone has now set a lap. I think Ian's going again. He was up a bit in the first sector here, improved massively in the middle sector. Ross is still out there, by the way, still putting in some laps. We've got just under 5 minutes to go in this session. And let's have a look. Ian goes 7th fastest, so 1 minute 13.1. So very close already in that midfield. Pyro, Waddington, Ian all done 1:13.1s. So, and that, I believe, is, yeah, it's Ross. This is now his 10th lap. He's really maximising this first part of qualifying, using it as an extra practice session and really getting some laps in. So, and well, why not? It's what it's here for in situations like this where you're not going to be making it through anyway. Or you're guaranteed to be making it through anyway. You may as well use this session for an extra bit of practice. So Ross there in the McLaren for this season. And he's not beating his personal best, but I think he's just getting familiar with his car. The only other cars out on the track at the moment are Ian and Ross's teammate R. Kerr, who is just behind him. No, he's just entered the pits as well. So it's just Ross and Ian at the moment out on the racetrack. Just over 3 minutes to go. And apparently there is a bit of a problem in that chicane with some grip. That's what CR Mack is saying. We have seen a couple of drivers sliding out of turn 11 as well. We saw Sophie Bellon spinning there, of course, earlier on. So Iron's now retired from the session as well. So, oh, Ross very wide there in turn 4. Just about kept it on the racetrack. So he'll probably get at least 2 more laps in here if he wants. So excellent bit of excellent use of the time here by Ross. Really get familiar with the racetrack. He is at the moment the only car out on the track. There is a Red Bull coming down the pit lane now. That will be Sophie Mellons, who for some reason has gone for a brand new set of soft tyres. Not quite sure why he's using them up in Q1 when we've got the rest of qualifying to go. But there we go. It's his decision, of course. So Ross there completes his 11th lap now and is on to his 12th lap on this set of tyres. And R. Kerr is out on track, also using up another set of soft tyres. I'm not quite sure why. Oh, and Ross spins it. Ross spins it at turn 3. He was held up a little bit by his teammate. But plenty of runoff in that area, in that part of the track, fortunately. And reversing on the track, trying to get the car back round. So yeah, I'm not quite sure why Arca and especially Sophie Mellons have felt the need for a brand new set of tyres. But as I said, it's their decision. Arca especially is really hammering back round to the grid here. We've got just under a minute to go. Ross should just... So there is Ross in the background. He will just about have enough time as well to get another lap in. So here is Arca in the McLaren, coming down now to start his final attempt in this session. Just over 30 seconds to go of Q1. And let's see how he gets on as he goes through turn 3. Also a little bit wide there. Seems to have used up all his battery as well on his outlap there, does Arca. So he's not going to improve, I wouldn't have thought, with that. Let's see how Sophie Mellons does. Ross has made it back round again. So this is his 13th lap in this session. The session is about to finish. Anyone on a lap, of course, can complete it. Oh, and that's Ross spun again at turn 3. So I think his tyres are well past their best. But it is just a show of strength for Sophie Mellons here. Just how quick he can go. Arca, yeah, he's not improving at all on this lap. So it does seem a little bit of a waste of a set of tyres, but there we go. Let's have a look. Sophie Mellons is still improving. He's about a tenth and a half up on his previous best, so he looks like he could just get into the 1 minute 11s here as he comes into the last couple of corners. But you have to say, Liam's one to watch. Doing a 1 minute 12.1 on the medium tyres is very good indeed. A 1:11.5 in the end from Sophie Mellons. Good lap. And we're now just going to wait for Ross to cross the line. He's coming in the pits, but 13 laps done in Q1, so a good bit of extra practice. And that's it. That's the end of Q1. And yes, it is a Red Bull sandwich at the moment. First and last for the Red Bulls. But as I said, everyone's made it through, apart from CR Mack, of course, who crashed out in that session. So he's going to be taking no further part. So they see confirmation, and those drivers on the mediums are looking pretty quick, especially Liam. Down in the low 1 minute 12s on the medium compound tyre. So he could certainly be one to watch later on. Into Q2, we lose 3 minutes off the time. Only the top 10 make it into Q3 and the top 10 shootout. So we've only got 12 in this session, and of course CR Mack is no longer in it after crashing out. So we're only going to lose the slowest driver from this session. And yeah, CR Mack, it was a good lap. 1:12.9. You were third fastest of those on the medium tyres. So it'll be interesting though to watch you come up from the back. So here we go, Q2. As I said, 3 minutes lost off the time. 15 minutes now in this session. And we're only going to lose
16 turns stretched over 4.6 kilometers.
the slowest route. It does look as if CR Mack might be in it, actually.
The two DRS zones on the circuit will allow the cars to hit over 330 kilometers per hour.
And Sophie Mellons thought it was short qualifying. So, unlucky there, mate. And Rossi certainly did get the practice in there. So, into Q2. And Waddington back out on track. And so is Meatburl as well. So they're the first two to venture out. Davis is out now as well. And apparently CR Mack is still in the session. So, well, we are going to lose the slowest two from this session then. So, well, I've never seen that happen before. Normally if a driver crashes out in Q1, they're out of qualifying full stop. But apparently not in this situation. Hard case now heading out onto track as well in the Alfa Romeo. 13.5 minutes left in this session already. Who is going to make it through into Q2, into Q3? Everyone will get an extra set of soft tyres as well, don't forget, for Q3. Waddington really attacking the last corner onto the pit straight. There's a Red Bull coming out onto the racetrack as well, which is CR Mack, who I think is currently counting himself as the luckiest person in the world. And Waddington a little bit wide there in turn one, bumped across the curb a little bit, unsettled the car in the middle of turn two. So that will have cost him a little bit of time. But let's see what he can do now as he heads down to the hairpin. And through the chicane, we've seen a few people struggling, but keeps it nicely under control into the fast Campser at the top of the circuit. And then into La Caxa here, turn 10. Last couple of corners, that car looks very, very well set up. Really able, barely a lift in the final corner as Ant Waddington does on 1 minute 12.0 to go provisionally fastest. Hardcase is back in the pits. I don't know if I did see him going off the track, so he must have made a mistake somewhere. As Meatball now goes fastest on 1:11.3. That's the fastest lap we've seen so far this evening. I see how they're trying to get a little bit of slipstream off Meatball. So yes, I'm sure he's counting himself as the luckiest person alive at the moment to still be in this qualifying session. Liam out on track now as well. So is Pyro and so is Ross. And our Kurt is just finished. He's on his lap as well, but he's invalidated this lap. So let's see what CR Mac can do. He was looking quick, as we were saying, before his spin in Q1 on the medium tyres. A 1:11.3 fastest at the moment for Meatball. A little bit of traffic just in front of him. Hopefully that won't get in his way. One of it is his teammate as well. They do just about keep out of the way. So into the last couple of corners now for CR Mac. And again, look at that. Again, barely a lift in that final corner as he goes across the line to go third fastest. A 1:12.1. Soapy Melon's just starting his lap as well. Arca is back out there as well. Pyro's on a lap, and so is Ross as well now. Let's see what Ross can do. And into the last couple of corners. Looking a lot more confident this time in the final corner. He does a 13.3. That's 5th place at the moment. So Medans is on his lap. But here is Pyro as well. Coming through the last couple of corners. And Pyro goes third at 1:12.1. So the lap time, I feel pretty close. Here comes Soapy Melons now through the last corner. And he does a 1:11.9. That's 2nd place now for him. So tech support's on a lap, and so is Ian. Liam there going very slowly on his out lap. So Ian on a lap. So can he challenge the top 3 or 4? Again, for a lot of the quickest drivers, it'll again just be a case of getting themselves through. We're only going to lose the bottom 2 from this session. So at the moment, Arca is slowest. Ross has crashed it in the last corner. Ross is out of the session. Did he crash it? I'm wondering if he crashed it in the pit lane on the way in. I think he did. There's a nasty bump there on the way into the last corner, and it does tend to throw you off. Let's see if he'll come and have a quick chat with us. But Arca, by the way, failed to improve. Tech support goes 9th. Liam is now on a lap. Ian, by the way, went 6th fastest. So tech support there, only a 1:41.7. So we've been joined by Ross. Ross, please make sure your audio is included so everyone can hear you. Well, I'm assuming that it was the bump on the pit lane on the way in that caused you to retire there.
That bump is horrendous, but I can't do anything but laugh. That was just... Oh well, such as life. I'll make it up
Yeah.
in the race.
Yeah, I mean, you weren't looking too bad. You were looking like you could just about get the top 10. So is that what you're going to be aiming for in the race? Do you reckon you can be challenging the top 10?
I'll hopefully top 5 if I can, but you know, take what we can get.
Yeah, just avoid that bump list for next time in the race.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, well, bad luck, and I hope you have a better race.
Me too, mate. Cheers.
No worries. So we're into Hardcase has retired from the session as well, so he's going to be starting 12th. Ross, as we just heard from, he is out. So, well, tech support just needs to improve and get himself into the top 10, and he'll be fine. He does it. Well, he does a 25-2, so he's not exactly improving at the moment. 6.5 minutes to go. Liam, by the way, went second fastest in the Alpha Tauri, 1:11.7. So it's Meatbell from Liam, Soapy Melons is third, and Waddington is fourth. Then we've got Pyro fifth, CR Max sixth, Ian is seventh, Davis is eighth. Then we've got, well, Ross would have been ninth, but it's now Arker in ninth place, and Tech Support 10th. And, well, I hope Hardcase is racing. But we'll soon find out. But I hope he is racing. But we've got just over 5.5 minutes to go. Only one car out on track at the moment, and that is Tech Support, who is improving once again. Another big slide out of turn 11. So they really do seem to be struggling out there. And he goes 8th fastest at 1:12.9. And a Hardcase apparently is having to pull out. He's got problems with his brake and his throttle pedal. So unlucky, Hardcase. I hope you can maybe get it fixed in time for the race, or certainly for next week. Arker is back out on track on a new set of mediums this time. As it stands, he is not through Arco. Ross will still go through. So, Ross will still go through, but just won't take part in Q3. So, Arco needs to find a couple of seconds and he'll be into Q3. Tech Support, I think, will be heading into the pits. Oh, still struggling with the back end of the car. Big tank slapper there in turn 10. Massive amount of opposite locks. Tripped through the gravel. Now heading into the pits. So let's have a look. So he's on the medium tyres. The only other car out there at the moment is Pyro. He's on another out lap. A lot of curb there in turn 1 for Arco as he heads through the long turn 3. He's invalidated this lap, so he's already not going to improve. Pyro is about to start his lap. Here he is. So let's see if he can improve. 5th fastest at the moment. On a 1:12.1, pretty close little battle going on there. Soapy Melons all the way down to CR Mac, covered by just over 0.2 of a second. So that's 3rd through to 6th. And he's found a 10.5 in the first sector. Liam back out on track as well. So a 10.5 at the moment would put him up into 3rd place for Pyro. Can he find any more in the second part of this lap? He heads down now to the end of the middle sector. He's found 0.3 of a second so far on this lap. Oh, a little bit wide there in turn 10. Just about got away with it. So, but 3/10 would put him close to Liam, close to second place. Let's have a look. Yeah, he lost a bit of time there with running wide, but he still moves up into 4th, a fraction behind Soapy Melons. Ian's now retired from the session as well. Liam is on an outlap, and R. Kurt is going again. So let's have a look. Can he improve on this lap? Goes down to the middle sector point. He's found 0.7 of a second so far this lap. So Liam on a lap as well. Here he is going through the first chicane. A little bit wide in turn 2. Let's have a look first. Actually, he's a fraction down on his previous best. Here comes Archer now across the line. He does a 14.7. Finds over a second on this lap. So big improvement for him there. Liam now coming through turn 5. Little flick of 6 and 7 and 8. This quick chicane where they're all struggling. He's backed out of the lap. So is he going to go again? He's got a minute left in this session, so he's got enough time to do another lap if he's got the fuel. Is he going to go again? No, he's going to come straight back into the pit. So we're now just got our Kerr out. Oh, he's off the track there. So, well, unless he's got the fuel to go again, I think this will be it for Q2. And I know he's coming in as well. So that's it. That is the end of Q2. And I'm not sure whether either Ross or Arco will be eliminated. Certainly Hardcase will be. That's a shame for him. But into Q3, 12 minutes now on the clock. We lose another 3 minutes off the time. Everyone who makes it through gets an extra set of soft compound tyres. And yes, I think Ross and Arco are both out of this session. So we're going to be down to just 9 for the pole position shootout. But Meatball fastest from Liam. Soapy Melons 3rd. Pyro 4th. They were the only drivers to make it into the 111s. Meatball comfortably into the 1 minute 11s as well. Ant Waddington in 5th, CR Max 6th, Iron 7th, Tech Support 8th, and Davis 9th. They are the 9 cars making it to Q3. So let's have a look. Here we go. 9 cars in this Q3 pole position shootout. Who is going to get pole position here for this race? Don't forget, those who don't know, we do get a 5-minute break after qualifying before the start of the race. And there is a Ferrari immediately heading out onto the racetrack. It is Meatball. Followed by an Alpha Tauri. Now, judging from the pace in the first 2 parts of qualifying, I think that's Pyro. He could be up there as well, but Meatball certainly is a strong contender for pole position. Judging from his pace in Q2 and Q1. As Pyro gets past Meatball there. Not really fighting it. And Alpine is now heading down the pits as well. So that's Tech Support out on track. The other Alpha Tauri of Liam is now heading out as well. So is one of the Red Bulls. So bit by bit they're coming out. So that Red Bull is CR Mack heading out onto the racetrack. 10.5 minutes to go in this session. They'll easily get 2 runs in this session. If they've got the tyres, they might even get 3 in. It's such a short lap around here. But Pyro's going to be the first one to try here in Q3. As he heads across the line now. What can he do? And there's a Mercedes heading out. That's Davis heading out onto the racetrack as well. And the other Red Bull now, Sophie Mellons, is also now heading for his outlap. So, Pyro, good first sector. As he comes out of turn 5 through the little flick of 6 into this quick chicane. Well, we've seen a lot of drivers making errors. Seems to be a little lacking grip in there. Then into such a fast right-hander. Up towards Lecapta, turn 10. And a good middle sector as well from him. And at the moment, Meatball is going quicker. So Meatball at the moment looks like he's in the prime position to take pole position here at the moment. But let's see what Pyro can do. As he heads across the line now, he does a 1 minute 12.3. Meatball's looking a lot faster. He does a 1:11.1, comfortably the fastest lap we've seen so far this evening. Brilliant lap there from Meatball. What about tech support? He's in the final corner now as well. He does a 1:11.7. That puts him second on the grid. Liam's on a lap now as well in the Alpha Tower as he heads through the last corner. He does a 1:11.3. That puts him second. So CR Mack now in the final corner. He goes across the line. He goes 4th on a 1:11.8. A little bit slower than tech support. Sophie Mellons is on a lap. So is Davis as well. Ant Waddington still in the pits. Ian is on his outlap. But Ant Waddington remains in the pit lane at the moment. So maybe he's going to wait for a bit of completely clear road. As that Alpine of Ian moves nicely out of the way of Davis. Davis now through the last couple of corners. Oh, lost a little bit of time there. Had to big lift in that final corner. He does a 13.2. That's 6th fastest for him at the moment. Sophie Mellons now coming through the last corner. He's not that far behind Meatball, jumping on his middle sector time. Let's have a look what he can do as he goes into the last corner. And Sophie Mellons goes across the line. He does a 1:11.2 and goes second. So the top 3 really do seem to have a bit of a gap on the others at the moment. And Ian's invalidated this lap, so he's backed right out of it. Ant Waddington is now out on track. There he is. So he was just waiting for a bit of clear road. So he's going to have a nice clear piece of racetrack to do his lap on. So can we see someone sneak into the 1 minute 10 this evening, or is that just about as quick as they can go? Meatball from Sophie Mellons from Liam. Just over a quarter of a second covering those 3. Very close as well between tech support and CR Mack. And Pyro and Davis not that far behind either. And CR Mack says he's got nosebleed being so far up. Yeah, up in 5th place at the moment. Oh, a bit wide there from Ant in turn 3, and I think he's backed out of it. And Goblin has joined us. The reigning world champion has joined us. So he is going to be in the race. Ant's completely backed out of this lap. Ian going again, and a good first sector from Ian as well. Can he get himself involved with the front 3? Abandoned his first lap after the first corner, so those tyres shouldn't be that worn. a bit of a slide there in the quick chicane, heading up towards turn 9. And let's have a look. Middle sector time. Yeah, he's a little bit off the pace. That's kind of the pace of Pyro there, who in 6th position. But let's see what he can do through the final couple of corners. 5 minutes to go in this session as Ian goes across the line. He does a 1 minute 12.3. And I said he was close to Pyro, didn't I? 100th of a second behind him. And goes 7th fastest. Ant Waddington's abandoned this run altogether and has come into the pits. So he will have enough time, though, to get another set of tyres on and go again. So 4.5 minutes to go in this session.
Although officially the first F1 GP was held here in 1951 and has been a staple of the calendar almost every year since it was first hosted.
So, who is going to get pole here this evening? One more run each, I think, for everyone, if they've got the tyres available.
7 of the 10 winners were or would go on to be world champions. It was back in 1951 Schumacher managed to finish in 2nd place, despite driving over half the race. Teams and drivers know this track well due to the number of hours they spend here, dialing in setups and pushing their cars to find the limits of this circuit. As a result, there's huge amounts of data, so expect teams to be at the top of their game this weekend.
So here we go, just over 3 minutes to go. Who is going to be the next one to come out and try again? It is one of the Alpha Tauris. And it is Pyro. Really weaving the car about, trying to get some heat into those tyres. Just under 3 minutes. We should see a rush in a second of drivers heading out onto the racetrack. Because, yes, one of the Mercedes is heading out. It's Ant Waddington. In fact, both Mercedes are heading out. Ant Waddington is the first one. One of the Red Bulls is coming out. That's Sophie Mellons with Davis tucked up behind him as well. So with it being such a short lap round here, you can come out with 80, 90 seconds to go and you'll still easily get around without having to push your tyres too much. The other AlphaTauri of Liam is heading out onto racetrack now. Both Alpines are coming out now as well. Ian and Tech Support, they're both heading out. So is Meatbell on provisional pole at the moment. And the other Red Bull is coming out. So they're all coming out onto the track for one more run. Pyro just backing off a little bit. He's going to be the first one to cross the line to start his final run here in Q3. So let's have a look as he now goes into the final corner. 6th fastest at the moment. A 1 minute 12.3. Can he improve on that as he heads over the line to start his final qualifying run? This is it now for the drivers. They've got to give it everything to find the absolute limit. He goes through the long turn 3 up towards the first sector point. Here's our first opportunity. He's found a 10.5 in the first sector as Soapy Mellon starts his lap. And Ant Waddington's just about to start his... Oh, sorry, that's Davis. And then Ant Waddington's just about to start his. So Pyro now in the middle sector. He found a 10.5 on his best in the previous sector. Can he find any more in the middle as he goes through? Look at that commitment there in turn 9. That was absolutely brilliant. The car was on rails, middle sector point. He's found just over a third of a second. There is Meatball in front of him going slowly, but he's just winding up to start his lap. Shouldn't get in his way. as he heads. Here comes Pyro now. Can he challenge the top 5 as he goes through the last corner? And he does. A 1 minute 11.7, which puts him into 5th place. Soapy Melons is a fraction down on his previous best. Davis isn't improving at the moment. But Soapy Melons a fraction down as he comes through the last corner. He's second at the moment. Can he challenge Meatball? The session's now over. He improves, but not by enough. He remains second. Davis is completely backed out of his lap. And takes the board, has spun it, and takes the board. He's out of the session. And Waddington goes 6. And Waddington has gone 6th fastest. Here comes Ian as he goes across the line. He fails to improve. What about Liam? He improves as well, but remains 3rd. And that's CR Max spun. So I think that is it. Unless Meatball is improving. He is improving. And he does a 1 minute 10.8 in the end. What a lap right at the end. Soapy Melons and Liam really gave a run for his money, but Meatball takes pole position for the opening race of the season. And we did break that 1 minute 10 barrier. What a lap from Meatball. Soapy Melons alongside him on the front row. 0.03 of a second quicker than Liam. And then behind that, Tech Support, Pyro, and Waddington and CR Mac covered by just about 1.5 tenths. It's what we like to see. But Meatball on pole. And let's get the pole man in to talk to us. But yeah, look, just well, not even 1.5 tenths, just 1/10 covering 4th to 7th there. So very, very close. We have been joined by Meatball. Meatball, please make sure your audio is included, please, so everyone can hear you. Well, you were made to work for a bit in the end. Soapy Melons and Liam pushed you hard, but pole position, you must be pleased. What a start to the season for you.
Yeah. I mean, total strategy for quali wasn't quite spot on, but got pole anyway. So I guess we take those.
Yeah,
and it's best possible position. So
it is indeed, and long run down to turn 1, so chance of being slipstream down into there. Do you think Soapy Melons and Liam are going to be your main rivals? Obviously, you've got Meatball starting at the back. Do you think there could be anyone else that could be challenging you this evening?
I mean, there definitely could be. I don't think you can rule anyone out, especially with safety cars and whatnot. But I'm confident that my pace is high enough, so that I'll be able to pull out a win anyway.
Okay, excellent. Well, good luck for the race. I hope you have a good one, and hope to talk to you later on.
Yeah, likewise, mate.
So, we are having a lobby restart just because of Hardcase leaving the session. So we will be back underway very, very shortly. Please do stay tuned. It promises to be a brilliant race. Looking very, very close indeed up at the front. And who knows what's going to happen. Please do stay in touch. Please do come and say hello. We will be underway as soon as possible. We're going to get the new lobby set up and running, and then we will be back with you. Stay tuned. The Spanish Grand Prix is on its way. Just while we're waiting, I'll see if the reigning champion will come and chat to us before we get going. And he has joined us. Dan, please make sure your audio is included so everyone can hear you. Just thought I'd have a quick chat to you before we get going. Reigning world champion, of course, the second time you've won the championship. How confident are you going into the new season?
Into this race, not very. As you saw, Miss Qualisa starting from the back, so I think it would just be a race of survival and trying to get my way through the field. But there are some really, really quick boys we've got in this season, so no race and no season is going to be easy now.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say to you, I mean, we seem to have some very quick drivers in now. We've got Meatball, we've got Liam. CR Max found some pace as well. Sophie Mellons looks quick. I mean, do you reckon you can compete with those boys?
Well, we'll see how it goes, really. Feel like other people have a bit more time to practice than the likes of myself, but yeah, I'll see what I can do. It's obviously a shorter season this season, so you've got to perform at every chance you've got. Take every race as it comes and see where we're at after a few races.
Yeah, and so as you said, starting at the back. So, what's your hopes tonight? Points or top five, or maybe a podium? What are you thinking for tonight?
Well, you've got to give yourself a high target, because even if you fall back on that, you've still got something. One is obviously survive. But yeah, I think I've got to try and push myself for a podium tonight. That's what I've got to aim for.
Okay, excellent. Well, glad you could make it, Dan, and thank you for joining us. And I hope you have a good race.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
No worries. So, as I said, we are just getting everything set up, ready to go now for the start of the race. We've heard from pole position man. We've heard from the reigning world champion. And, of course, we spoke to Ian earlier on as well. So we spoke to three of the drivers who are here tonight. Of course, we spoke to Ross earlier as well after his incident in qualifying. So 4 of the drivers spoken to tonight. It's good going. Better than I normally manage. So let's keep that going, guys. It's good to hear so many of you on the stream. So, well, their drivers are readying up now. And we will hopefully be underway very, very shortly. We will have the formation lap. We've got 33 laps of this track. It is one of the longest runs to turn one from the start finish line here. So Meatball there in pole position. He may come under threat down into turn one if he doesn't get a completely good start. It is entirely possible, but who knows what's going to happen in turn one. As he says as well, safety cars could be an issue. We've seen a lot of drivers sliding off the racetrack and spinning. We saw CR Mac there spinning there on his last session, and he said he was going to be up there with the top 3 or 4 if he had but for that mistake. So who knows what is going to happen in this race. 33 laps, it's a long way to go. So the drivers now will just be getting their setups back on. And then hopefully we will be underway again very shortly indeed. It looks like it's going to be a dry race as well, which I'm sure a lot of the drivers will be very, very happy about, having a dry race. But what do you think is going to happen? And I hope this isn't going to be another lobby restart. And it is going to be a lobby restart. So apologies, everyone. There is going to be another lobby restart. So hopefully we will get this race underway very shortly. So, yes, apologies, everyone. Let's try this again. Right, stay tuned. I promise the Spanish Grand Prix is on its way. Right, here we go. Hopefully third time lucky. There's still going to be a couple of minutes break. The drivers are going to get the chance to get their setups on, get their race strategies perfected. And then hopefully we can finally be underway for race 1 of the season, the Spanish Grand Prix. Meatball on pole. But there's a lot of things to look out for in the race. We saw Goblins joining late, so he'll be starting at the back. He'll be one to watch coming through. Safety cars are very much a possibility around here. So stay tuned, a couple more minutes and we'll be underway for the race. So, here we go. The formation lap is underway. Let me run you through the grid and also what tyres everyone is starting the race on. Meatball on pole position. He is starting on the hard tyres. Alongside him, Soapy Melons in the Red Bull, starting on the mediums. Row 2, Liam starts on the softs. Look out for him at the start. He could be one to watch. Tech support alongside him in the Alpine. He starts on the hard compound tyres. Row 3, Pyro in the second of the Alpha Tauris. He also starts on the softs. So the two Alpha Tauris could be two cars to watch off the start. Ant Waddington starts in 6th in the Mercedes on the hards. Row 4, CR Mac in the second of the Red Bulls and Ian in the second of the Alpines. They both start on the mediums. Row 5, Davis in the second Mercedes. He starts on the mediums. Ross in the McLaren starts on the hards. And row 6, Goblin in the Ferrari lines up on the medium tyres, and Kerr in the second McLaren lines up on the soft. So a real mix of tyres for the start of this race. Who is going to get away best? As I said, keep an eye out on those Alpha Tauris. They are starting the race on the soft tyres and they're right up there near the front So they really could be ones to watch off the start line. So here they go. They're all coming into position now. Meatball on the right. Soapy Melons on the left. Behind Meatball is Liam. Behind Soapy Melons is Tech Support. 4 different teams in the top 4. It's a long run down to turn 1. Who is going to get away best? The drivers are all in position now. The 5 lights are coming on. We can't see them on the screen, unfortunately, but I promise you they are. And it's lights out, and away we go, and it is a good start from Meatball, but Soapy Melons looks as if he's got away better. As here comes Liam as well. Liam's having a great run off the start. I can't see anything, I'm very sorry, but Liam trying to go around the outside of Meatball, and Meatball squeezes him out. Liam up into second place. Pyro's had a good start as well, trying to squeeze out Soapy Melons. They've all looked like they got through the first couple of corners okay, although there's a car round at the back. That's an Alpine. That's Ian, and a Red Bull in there as well, CR Mac. And Waddington, I think, made a mistake in the first corner because he was a little way behind them already. So contact already in the first couple of corners. And Liam has taken the lead, by the way, from Meatball. So Liam leads from Meatball with Pyro in third. Goblin, what a start from Goblin from the back of the field. He's up into 4th place. He's steered his way through the carnage in the first couple of corners and he's 4th already. I'm not sure if there's any damage to those who spun at the back, but Tech Support, CR Mac and Waddington and Ian all involved. Tech Support already back past Davis. As I'm just trying to see, is there damage to anyone? I'm not sure about. I think there might be to CR Mac. Yes, he's got no front wing, so he's going to have to pit. Iron looks as if he's got away with it damage free, but Liam leads at the end of lap 1. Meatball trying to go with him in second place, and Pyro is third. The top 3 breaking away. I said keep an eye out on those on the soft tyres. Arker as well from the back of the field on those softs is up to 7th and giving his teammate Ross a hard time. But Tech Support that gets past him as well is very, very close down there in the midfield. 6th, 7th and 8th extremely close together. Tech Support now trying to go around the outside of Ross. He's not going to make that one stick, but these 4 very close together, and Soapy Melons giving Goblin a hard time in the fight for 4th position. But Liam leads. And look at the top 3, nose to tail. Meatball is doing a good job, you have to say, on those hard tyres to keep them in check at the moment. Pyro still on the back of them. As Tech Support is now past Ross, so Tech Support up into 6th. So I hope the timing screen sorts itself out very, very soon. But Meatball now sets fastest lap of the race. The DRS will be enabled now on this lap. It's Liam from Meatball, from Pyro. They are 3.5 seconds clear of Goblin, who's got Soapy Melon snapping at his heels. Soapy Melon's lost out in the first corner and dropped back to 5th. But what a start to the race for Goblin to come through from 11th on the grid to be 4th at the end of the first lap. He would have been smiling like mad with that one. And especially because he is going to go longer than the 2 Alpha Towers, you would have thought, with the Alpha Towers on the soft compound tyre. CR Mac did make a stop, has come out last, but he's going to start closing up. He's put on a brand new set of soft tyres. But the top 3 stretching away. They're nearly 4 seconds clear of Goblin now already. There you can just see the Ferrari in the background with Soapy Melons on his tail. Tech Support up into 6th and starting to close up on those 2 as well. But Liam cannot shake that Ferrari. And of course there is going to be DRS now available to Meatball. And those soft tyres, they will drop off quite quickly here with it. With a lot of these high-speed corners, it will drop off quite quickly. As here comes Meatball now. He's got the DRS and the slipstream on Liam. Liam goes defensive at the last minute and just about holds the Ferrari off. Pyro keeping a watching brief as well back there in 3rd. Goblin's got the measure of Soapy Melons at the moment. Davis right up behind Ross. Arker's got Ant Waddington for company as well in the battle for 9th place. But these 3, what a race already between them. But how long can those AlphaTaurus keep those soft compound tyres going? And of course, what they won't want to do is both pit on the same lap, because whoever's in the second of those two cars, which at the moment is Pyro, will lose out if they end up pitting on the same lap. So hopefully between them, they'll have a good idea of when each other is pitting. But Meatball really pushing. Now, he's got those hard tyres up to temperature quite quickly. And now is really putting the pressure on those two AlphaTauris. They are still pulling away quickly from Goblin, who's 5 seconds down the road already as they start lap 5 of this race. Is Meatball going to be close enough this time? We're going to ride on board with the Ferrari. And again, Liam goes defensive. Again, Meatball tries to go around the outside. And again, Liam just about manages to cut him off. And Soapy Melons goes past Goblin. So Soapy Melons up into 4th place. If he can make his stick, Goblin going to try and go around the outside. Tech Support, though, cannot close up on these two. And here goes Goblin again up the inside of turn 4. Soapy Melons sweeps in. And just about hangs on. But Tech Support cannot close up on these two. He's still just under 3 seconds down the road. Ross still keeping Davis at bay just about at the moment in the fight for 7th. Ant Waddington has got past Art Kerr and up into 9th place. Can he now close up on these two? Who we got? And CR Mack is rapidly closing up to the back of the field as well, taking about 4 seconds out of Ian already. So Liam leads, and look how much closer Meatball is this time. If he can keep it together through the last corner, which he has, we've seen how close he has been, and I think this is going to be the lead changing once again. Meatball is going through. And now Pyro having a look as well. Pyro should have an opportunistic move, but he backs out of it at the last second, just about. Well, that would have been very, very brave indeed as Davis gets past Ross. So Davis up into 7th. But it's Meatball now from Liam, from Pyro. And can Meatball... Well, it's quite early in the race, you'd have thought, for those soft tyres to already be going off. And there's a Mercedes off, that's Davis. Davis is off in turn 3. Was there contact with Ross? We saw him just get past him. But Davis spins and has dropped down to 10th place. But he has recovered. It doesn't look as if he's got any damage either. So he lives for another day there, does Davis, but he will have lost a lot of time with that. He was up in 7th. He's now dropped to 11th place. But Meatball at the moment is really making a break for it. Has already nearly broken the DRS to Liam behind him. So those soft tyres at the moment don't look like the perfect race tyre. They do look as if they're already starting to struggle. So Meatball now leads this race, and Pyro's just dropping back a little bit there now in 3rd position. He's dropped out of DRS to his teammate. Liam's just about hanging on at the moment. Goblin's still hanging on as well in the DRS of Soapy Melons. Ant Waddington's caught up to the back of Ross now as well. That's the fight for 7th place. And CR Max still absolutely flying at the back of the field on those soft tyres. But I'm not sure. I don't know if they were maybe a slightly worn set of softs that went on the two AlphaTaurus at the start. But they're not. They've not had the advantage that I thought they would have. They have off the line, but they haven't so far in this race. Pyro especially really starting to struggle now. He's no longer in DRS. Let's have a look at some of the battles going on further back. There is Ross in 7th place with Ant Waddington now for company in the Mercedes. So he's already had one Mercedes catch him as Ross and get past and then spin. And here comes the other one. Is Ant going to be close enough down the pit straight? I don't think he is. as Iron gets past Arcur. So Iron is past and now and up into 9th place. Liam just starting to close up again a little bit on the race leader. He's not going to let him get away with this easily. Pyro now 2 seconds further back. Will they decide to pit him early? You can see him dropping back now a little bit there in the AlphaTauri. Soapy Melon's 3.5 seconds behind Pyro, so he is catching him as Ant Waddington gets past Ross. I think Ross must have made a mistake in there. So that's not a usual place to pass. Now, who's going to have DRS? It is Ross. Can Ross come back at him? Down into turn 10. Oh, a little bit of tyre contact there. But Ross has made it back through. And Ant ducks to back up the inside. And Ant makes that move stick again. So Ant up into 7th place now. And Liam getting close again to the race leader. It's like he's found a second wind on these tyres. And he's starting to push the race leader once again. So Melons is dropping Goblin now. Tech support still nearly 3 seconds behind him. And Ross has got back past and again in the DRS on the pit straight. So Ross is refusing to give up on this 7th position. But it's Meatball from Liam. Just half a second apart. Pyro now 3 seconds down the road and 3 seconds clear of Soapy Melons, who's now a 1.5 seconds clear of Goblin. This is one of the closest battles on track. We've got a battle for the lead, of course, at the moment, but Ross and Ant Waddington fighting over 7th position in this race. But Meatball continues to lead. How much further can those soft tyres go? Got to say, the DRS is really keeping that AlphaTauri close, and he's having a little look once again, but not quite close enough. But it's like he suddenly seems to have found some grip again on those tyres, as Liam. As Ant Waddington again passes Ross and takes that 7th place. So, but we're looking at the battle for the lead at the moment. Meatball from Liam. They've dropped Pyro now by coming up toward 4 seconds. Soapy Melons isn't making much of an impression on the AlphaTauri at the moment in 4th place, but he's just gently dropping the Ferrari of Goblin. Only 1 pit stop so far in this race. And that was CR Mack at the end of lap 1 with a broken front wing. But it's Meatball from Liam. And here we go again. And Liam loses a bit in the final corner, but then gets the DRS and just closes right back up again as they come down towards turn 1. I don't think he's going to be close enough this time unless he goes for a surprise dive, but he's too sensible for that one. And Pyro is dropping back. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see Pyro pitting earlier than certainly his teammate in this race, because he does appear to be losing ground now quite quickly. As I said, it could have been a set of worn tyres that went on those AlphaTauris at the start, and that's why they haven't lasted as long. And of course then the other question will be, what tyres will they go on at their first stops? Will they both go onto a set of medium tyres, or can Meatball go far enough to make it onto a set of softs? Davis in the pits. So quite an early stop for the medium tyres. What tyres he's going on? He's going on to a set of hards, and he has got a bit of front wing damage, so maybe there was contact with Ross. So a front wing change there for the Mercedes of Davis, and he comes back out onto the track in last position, but as we know, anything can happen in these races. Liam a little bit closer once again to the back of the Ferrari. Does he have enough straight line speed and slipstream to have a look into turn 1? He's certainly going to have a try. And Liam retakes the lead. Liam retakes the lead ahead of Meatball. These two, by the way, right now are pulling away by a second a lap from Pyro in 3rd place. But Liam has retaken the lead just when he really thought those soft tyres would really be starting to struggle. He has made it work. And he's back into the lead of this race. How much further can he make those tyres go? Liam from Meatball. Pyro 5 seconds down the road. That is Davis there in the Mercedes. He's nearly a lap down. He's just made a pit stop, change of front wing for him. Ant Waddington, by the way, has dropped Ross now by about a second and a half. Goblin is still over 2 seconds clear of Tech Support. Tech Support cannot seem to make much of an impression at the moment. But look how close Meatball is now as they get almost pushing him around the final corner. And Meatball surely is going to have the run on him once again. And we're going to see another change of leader heading down towards turn 1. What a fight these two are giving us in the first race of the season. Meatball back into the lead. Only 2 cars have stopped so far. They're both for changes of front wing. They're CR Mac and Davis. CR Mac at the moment closing in on Arker for the last point scoring position as things stand. In Arker in 10th position, CR Mac in 11th. And closing up very quickly, but of course his soft tyres won't last that much longer. But of course Arker's on the soft tyres as well, having started the race on them. So now the next question will be, will Davis inadvertently get himself in the way here, or will he manage to stay away from this leading battle? He's not that far in front of these two and about to be lapped on lap 13 of this race. We're racing towards half distance already. Meatball from Liam, and this time Liam not close enough. And now these two stop battling. They're pulling away again by about half a second. Soapy Melons, by the way, is now just over a second behind Pyro. And Goblin is in the pits. So Goblin at the end of lap 13 comes into the pits. Set a hard tie. We're hoping to go to the end on them, but he's not getting away. There we go. He is away now. Now, he should have a nice little bit of clear air just behind Ross here. Iron's a few seconds down the road. So, yes, Goblin, a nice bit of clear air. He's not, well, he's a few seconds behind Ross. But that's okay. He can push them. Can he now make a bit of an impression on those in front of him as the race goes on? When are the leaders going to be pitting? Meatball, you would think, he's going to try and go long on those hard tyres. And if he can go long enough to put on a set of soft tyres. He saved a set of softs in the first part of qualifying. So he should have a brand new set available to him. And he's seeing just how long that those soft tyres are going on that AlphaTauri as Liam pits. Liam pits. So Liam pits from second position. He will be hoping for the undercut and track position. And the other AlphaTauri's in. So both AlphaTauri's in. There is a big enough gap between them though. So Pyro shouldn't be held up too much. And it's a set of medium tyres going on to Liam. What about Pyro? Also a set of medium tyres going on for him. So identical strategies for the two AlphaTauris. And look at Goblin already all over the back of Ross. And he's going to go past him. And Goblin has caught up a lot to Pyro. So Pyro comes out in 6th position, just in front of Goblin. But Goblin took a good couple of seconds out of him there. So that will be, well, of some concern to the likes of Meatball there with just how powerful the undercut is. The yellow flag there is just Davis getting out of the way. CR Mac in the pits. He had got past Arker and into the final points paying position. Set of hard tyres for him. Arker into the pits as well. And it's a set of medium tyres going on for him. So will Davis get past either of them? I'm not sure, because he did lose a bit of time there letting the leader through. But Meatball leads this race still, and he's still not stopping. Soapy Melons carrying on as well in 2nd place. Tech Support now up into 3rd. Liam emerged in 4th place in the AlphaTauri. And he'll be pushing like crazy now on this lap to try and at least get track position on Meatball. At the very least, they're going to be on the same tyres, although Meatballs are going to be obviously a few laps younger. But maybe, as I said earlier, if Meatball can go, and look at that, fastest lap of the race from Goblin. He's absolutely flying on those fresh tyres as Pyro gets past Ant Waddington, and he's dragging Goblin with him as well. But if Meatball can maybe do another 5 or 6 laps, if that, he might be able to go to a set of softs, as Goblin is now past Ant Waddington as well. So Goblin up into 6. But crucially, he's in DRS range of Pyro. So that stopping that 1 lap earlier for Goblin has really paid dividends for him, because it's brought him right up with the man who was running in 3rd position. So race order, lap 17, we're just about half distance now. Meatball leads from Soapy Melons. 3rd is Tech Support. 4th is Liam. Liam is the first of the cars to have made a stop. So has Pyro and Goblin. And Waddington still running in 7th, yet to stop in the Mercedes. So is Ross, as Pyro now sets fastest lap of the race on a 1:14.1. They're absolutely flying. Those two there, Pyro and Goblin, are absolutely flying on those hard tyres. They seem to be working well. This is Ian coming into the pits. He was running 9th. So still on for some points at the moment is Ian. And like we said earlier, never know what's going to happen. Set of hard tyres for him. And why is he not going? Bit of a slow getaway there for the Alpine. But back to the race leader. Meatball leads by 10 seconds from Soapy Melons. How much further is he going to go? He's pitting now. So on lap 17, so surely that would be a set of mediums, you would have thought. So Soapy Melons is carrying on. So Soapy Melons is going to take the lead of this race. He has, of course, yet to stop. Tech Support is in as well. So Tech Support in from 3rd place. And where is Liam going to be in all this? Is he going to be in front of Meatball? He is. Those couple of laps extras giving him the advantage he needed. And Goblin has got past Tech Support as well. Goblin up into 5th place. And Waddington still... Oh, and that was Pyro running wide in turn 2. And that's put Goblin right on the back of him once again. And Waddington still yet to stop. So Ross is in the pits now. So only Soapy Melons and Ant Waddington yet to pit in this race. We're on lap 18. But Liam has a 2-second gap to former race leader Meatball. So those extra couple of laps really have worked out well for Meatball. Mistake from Pyro has put Goblin right under his rear wing. And can Goblin now shape up how much further into this race is Soapy Melons going to go? He's still going on. Is he going to try and go to a set of softs at the end? Because he's still running in the lead by 6.5 seconds. Liam is losing ground to Meatball at the moment. This is the battle I'm going to be interested in here. Is Goblin going to be close enough to have a look at Pyro? He is indeed. And Meatball goes through. That is for a net 3rd place in this race. There's a yellow flag. That's a Mercedes off. And it's Davis off the track. That's in turn 4. So Davis off. And he loses a position to Arcur there as well. So they're fighting for 11th place at the back of the field. And Davis's spin has cost him there. So they are both a lap down. This is the current race leader, yet to stop. One of only 2 men to stop in this race. Ant Waddington still hasn't stopped and is now coming under pressure. Oh, and that's Soapy Melons lost it. Soapy Melons, the race leader in turn 11, has had a massive slide. And he's going to lose the lead to Liam. And he loses 2nd place as well. Surely he's going to pit. That cost him a lot of time there, Soapy Melon. And he does dive into the pits, but Liam now leads by just over a second from Meatball. And it is a set of soft tyres going on for Soapy Melons, but where is he going to come out? Ant Waddington pits as well. He's the he's the last man to make a stop in this race. So Soapy Melons is going to come out in 6th position. Ant Waddington, he should come out still in 7th. He's gone for a set of mediums to the end. But this is the fight right now. Pyro's got back past Goblin. So we've got the fight for the lead. And we've got the fight for 3rd place. Liam and Meatball. AlphaTauri versus Ferrari for the race win. And Pyro in the other AlphaTauri. And Goblin in the other Ferrari. Fighting for the final podium spot. So it's AlphaTauri, Ferrari, AlphaTauri, Ferrari. Who would have thought that for the start of the season? Keep an eye out on Soapy Melons though. Brand new set of soft tyres for him. He should be pretty quick on them. I mean, though he lost at least 6 seconds, and he's only 8 seconds behind tech support after that stop. So he could have certainly been looking at a top 5. But it's going to be a bit of a fight for him now. But you never know what he can do on those tyres. And Meatball now is in DRS as Goblin gets past Pyro once again. And Meatball now really putting pressure on the AlphaTauri of Liam in the lead. 3 laps younger tyres. We're on lap 21 of this race. Who knows who's going to win this? Who knows who's going to get a podium here at this rate? Because it is all up in the air. And Meatball not quite close up in that DRS zone. He'll try and set himself up for the pit straight. And Liam really feeling the pressure, making mistakes. Now, can Meatball keep it all together in this final corner and stay close enough? Yes, he can easily. So I think we're going to see another change for the lead. It will all be about now who can keep their bottle and not make a mistake. That's what it's going to be about. Pyro very close indeed to the back of Goblin, but not close enough to have a look this time. As Soapy Melon sets fastest lap of the race on a 1:13.8. He's running 6th. He's just taken a second out of tech support. He could still challenge for a top 5 if he can keep that kind of pace up. Meatball making a break for it now on the race leader, and that's a Mercedes round again, and that's Davis again, and this time he's hit the wall and he's got damage to his front wing. So race order, Meatball leads, and he has broken DRS on Liam already. Goblin is 3rd with Pyro snapping at his heels. Tech support is 5th. Then we've got Soapy Melon 6th, Ant Waddington is 7th. Then we've got Iron 8th, Ross 9th, and CR Mac 10th. They are your point scorers at the moment. Archer and Davis are still running in 11th as well. Davis, they're off the track again. He's got no front grip at all with the damage to his front wing. So look, you see there running off the track, so he's going to have to make another stop. But you never know what might happen. You still could get a safety car or something along those lines to bring the field back together again. But no retirements in this race so far as Davis, well, that just compounds his day really. 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits, and he's retired from the race. So Davis becomes our first retirement on lap 23, and Meatball is really making a break for it now. Over 2 seconds clear of Liam. Pyro and Goblin still having an incredible battle for the final podium spot. Tech support is catching them a little bit. 3 seconds down the road. This is off the back of Pyro as Goblin has a little look, not quite close enough. But Meatball really has shown a good turn of pace on this set of tyres. He was 2 seconds behind, if you remember, when he came out of the pits. He's now coming up to 3 seconds clear in just a few laps. So is Goblin close enough once again to have another overtake on Pyro? He is indeed, and he goes through. That, I believe, is Arcur running in 11th place in this race. And Iron gets a penalty, a 3-second time penalty. That could be crucial because he's only a second and a half clear of Ross at the moment, only 6 clear of CR Mac. So that could cost him big time. But this is the closest battle on the racetrack at the moment. And Tech Support is catching these two. He's only 2 seconds down the road now. Sophie Melons is catching the lot of them. He's 4.5 seconds behind Tech Support. So this could be a very big battle. 4-way battle for the final podium spot entering the last few laps. We're on lap 25 of this race. Just 8 to go after the one that the leaders are on. And, well, Meatball at the moment putting the seal on the race at the moment. Over 3 seconds clear. But we got this incredible fight going on. And here comes Pyro again. And he makes it signal, does he? Goblin's going to try and hang on up the inside. And they just about give each other space. A bit of a wobble there from Goblin. But Pyro makes it stick around the outside and retakes 3rd position. And look at Tech Support there in the background. Don't rule him out of joining this fight. He's on fairly fresh tyres as well compared to, well, he's on 3 lap younger tyres than Pyro and 4 lap younger tyres than Goblin. So Meatball at the moment just looks like he's pacing himself out front from Liam. It's this battle that is being very quickly joined by Tech Support. And just you saw there in the background, the Red Bull of Soapy Melons catching the lot of them. Just see him there coming into view. So we could very soon have a 4-way battle for the final podium. At the moment, it's AlphaTauri and Ferraris leading the way. But they're being joined by an Alpine and a Red Bull very, very quickly indeed. And here comes Goblin again down the pit straight. And once again, he's going to make it stick and retakes that 3rd position. This is great to watch. And with Tech Support joining and Soapy Melons as well, this is going to be a grandstand finish. Meatball, by the way, got the lead out to nearly 4 seconds out front. In total control of this race now. Did look under pressure for a lot of it, but he looks in total control right now. So we're keeping an eye on this battle, of course, for the final podium spot. The reigning world champion currently holds it in 3rd place there, Goblin. But he's under big pressure from Pyro, and Tech Support is almost in DRS now as Ian gets past Ross for 8th place. But he does have that penalty to contend with, so he's got to push a bit to try and hang on to that 8th. And Tech Support is nearly in DRS range now of these two. Pyro a little bit further back this time, but is he going to be able to slipstream enough down the pit straight? Goblin going defensive. I don't think he's quite close enough this time, Pyro. No, he's not. So not quite close enough this time around. The lead is now 4 seconds, by the way. And look at Tech Support now. He's just in DRS of these two. And Soapy Melons is just under 3 seconds behind them. There you can see the Red Bull in the background. He's just about keeping those soft tyres alive enough to continue to close up on these three. Ross hanging on as well nicely to the back of Ian. And CR Mac only 3 seconds behind them. Don't forget, with that penalty of Ian, that could prove crucial. He's just dropped to 9th. But it could be, instead of looking at 8th place, you could be looking at 10th place here, could CR Mac. So 3-way battle now for 3rd place, because Texport is right in there. Let's have a look at the race leader very quickly. There he is. 4.5 seconds nearly clear of Liam. And here we go again. And again, I don't think Pyro's quite close enough. And Sophie Mellon's just under 3 seconds behind this battle. There is Goblin. Oh, bit of a wobble in turn 2 there from Goblin. That's just brought Pyro a little bit closer once again, giving them a little bit of hope. And this is going to be brilliant. Ian once again gets... Oh, is there contact? I think there might be contact because CR Max through and Ian has spun and Ross is through as well. I think there might have been contact there. CR Mac is passed and up into 8th place. And I don't know if there's any damage, but certainly Ian was round. And they both lost a lot of time. And CR Mac has pounced and has moved up into 8th place as a result. So there's action up and down the field here. Oh, bit wide there. Fine. He gets a penalty for his efforts there as well. Another penalty. But he is nearly 50 seconds clear of our Kerr, so he's guaranteed a point. But, well, I don't think that would quite be what he was hoping for. 4th in the World Championship last season. I think he was hoping to build on that heading into this season, but at the moment it's not going his way at all. And back to the battle for 3rd. We're on lap 29 now of 33. Meatball's lead is approaching 5 seconds, but this is the battle we're keeping an eye on. Ant Waddington in the pits. Well, I can see why he's doing that. He might still just come out ahead of CR Mac. Brand new set of soft tyres going on. Is he going to go for fastest lap? Even if he does come out behind CR Mac, you would think he'll easily find a way past. With the pace advantage of those soft tyres. And CR Mac does go through. But Ant comes out right behind him, and I think Ant will probably go for fastest lap and get that extra point. And I think he'll easily come out still in 7th place. But look at this battle now, and Sophie Mellons is rapidly gaining. Pyro's just dropped back a little bit now. He's going to come under more pressure from tech support, you would have thought. Although Goblin made a bit of a mistake in the final corner. Is Pyro going to be close enough to capitalise? I don't think he is. Not quite. And there is Sophie Mellons as well. Just a 1.5 seconds down the road from that battle. So can Ant Waddington immediately find a way past CR Mac and then go for fastest lap? He could have worked perfectly for him. If he gets the slipstream of DRS, that will give him a real pace advantage heading into turn 1. As Ian gets past Ross. Or does he? There's contact! That's Ant round! Ant is round! Was there contact with him and CR Mac? But Ant Waddington has spun and he's dropped to 10th place and is about to be lapped. Well, he took a bit of a gamble with that and it looks like he's not going to pay off. CR Mac does have a penalty. As Ian gets back past Ross once again. And Ant Waddington's going to have to let the leader through, and he has. And Tech Support gets past Pyro. And he's not even on the pit straight. So what happened there with Pyro? But Tech Support doesn't have DRS. Pyro does. This is helping Goblin massively. Because he is almost clear of DRS now of those three. Sophie Mellons is right in the fight now as well. This is the fight for 3rd place. Here we got Goblin, Pyro, Tech Support and Sophie Mellons. But I don't think Ant Waddington's going to be very happy with that one. Took a bit of a gamble, just had to get past CR Mac and made contact with him and spun round in the penultimate corners, dropped back to 10th place. He should have the pace Both CR Max got a penalty, and I think Iron's got 2 penalties, so he should still potentially have a chance of getting 7th place, but it's going to be hard work from here. And Meatball now is on his penultimate lap of this race. His lead is nearly 6 seconds from Liam. He's driven a brilliant second half to this race as Meatball. Yes, he lost track position to Liam after the pit stops, but he just has looked imperious since then. Has had so much more pace than everyone else. And here is this battle once again. And still, Goblin's got just enough pace to stay in front of those behind him. He's seen a brilliant race. And that's CR Mac round. No, it's only Sophie Mellon, sorry. Sophie Mellon has spun in the first corner. So that drops him out of that fight. So I'm not sure if there was contact or if he just spun on his own. I think he did just spin on his own. But we're keeping an eye on this battle for third. Goblin, Pyro, takes the ball all over the back of Pyro. As they come towards the end, Pyro's really faded in this second half race. Was right up there with the top 2 to start with. Then just doesn't seem to have had the pace in the second half of this race. But let's have a look. As your race leader is now on the final lap, Meatball leads by nearly 7 seconds. Liam, I think, is just making sure of second place. Can tech support challenge Pyro for 4th? No, he can't. Pyro with the slipstream from Goblin and the DRS just has too much straight line speed. But if this is going to come down to the last lap, I think Sophie Mellon's tyres have gone after that spin. And he's just making sure now of 6th position. Ant Waddington all over the back of Ross in the fight for 9th. But here is Meatball. He started. Oh, there was almost contact in the background between Ant and Ross. And Pyro and Goblin slowing down. Goblin's out of fuel. Goblin, I think, is out of fuel on the last lap. But your race leader, Meatball, comes through to win the Spanish Grand Prix after a brilliant, brilliant drive. Goblin, I think, is out of fuel. Disaster. Liam comes home 2nd. Pyro's going to come home to take 3rd place, just, I think, from tech support. And he just does. Pyro somehow takes that podium. Tech support takes 4th. Soapy Melons in the end takes 5th. And Goblin, well, that is unfortunate. Ran out of fuel on the last lap. Brings it home in 6th. Ant Waddington has finished in 9th, just ahead of Ross. CR Mac is going to take 7th place, just ahead of Ian. Wow, what an exciting end to that race that was. We didn't know who was going to. Sophie Mellon spun out of contention and Goblin runs out of fuel on the last lap. Still a great drive from Goblin from the back of the field to steer through the first corner carnage. CR Mac comes home 7th. And Ian, I think, is out of fuel as well. He is. So he limps across the line to take 8th. And, well, what a race in the end. But Meatball was imperious throughout and takes the first race victory of the season. So let's see if the top 3 will come and talk to us. What a race they gave us. Pyro somehow hung on to that 3rd position. There you can see the final race results. Tech support 4th in the Alpine. Soapy Melons, despite that spin on the last lap, or a couple of laps ago, he takes 5th and takes the fastest lap as well, so gets an extra point for that. Goblin, well, was in 3rd right to the end, but ran out of fuel at the end and finishes 6th. CR Max takes 7th for Red Bull, 8th for Ian. Eventful race he had. And Waddington, I think, will be gutted with that. Went for the fastest lap with those softer tyres. Ended up making contact and came home 9th. And Ross takes the last point in 10th position. Archer finishes his first race in 11th place. Davis was the only retirement of this race. I have been joined by Meatball. I'm just hoping that the others will come and join us as well. Let's have a look. Meatball, just make sure your audio is included, please. I'll try and get again to get the others in. But let's talk to you. Well, you went for the hard tyres. Went for a long first stint. It looked like it wasn't going to pay off, but in the end, seemed like quite an easy victory for you out there. Tell us how it was from your point of view.
Yeah, well, I mean, knowing that both Liam and Pyro were on the soft at the first stint, that very much became just stick with them at the start, and I knew that the tyres would come to me eventually. Unfortunately, the plan was then when I got past to kind of break DRS already in that first stint. Unfortunately, didn't manage to do that. But I always had a feeling that the tyres would come back to me. The tyre wear is a very big factor, and I always kind of knew that of us three, and especially between me and Liam, which it kind of turned into, I knew that I was on the better strategy and I would have a pace advantage and a tyre advantage towards the end. So, of course, it wasn't perfectly ideal. I would like to come out in first after the pit stop, but I was never really any stress about it.
Yeah, I mean, so you weren't worried at all when you saw Liam going past you after the first stop, because he was obviously going to pit earlier. Did you always think you would just have the performance advantage on those medium tyres?
Yeah, I knew that, especially like once you get to that 25% wear-ish, after like 6-7 laps, they kind of really fall off a cliff. So it was kind of just a matter of like waiting up until that stage, and right when I assumed he was around there, that's when I pushed and managed to break the DRS, luckily. So after that, it was, I don't think I looked back once. It was just focus on the road ahead and get into the flag.
Yeah, definitely. Well, good race for you. A great start to the season. Start as you mean to go on, do you think, for this season?
Yeah, well, hopefully so. I think that's the ideal goal, isn't it? So.
Yeah, definitely. Well done, and hope to see you again next week. Thank you. No worries. So, thank you to everyone who's joined me this evening. Please do join us again same time next week. I very much doubt I'll be available next week, but if I am, I'll be here. It's the Qatar Grand Prix, and it's a sprint race as well. So that it always adds a little bit of spice to the weekend. But thank you to everyone who's joined me. Thank you to all the drivers for coming in and having a chat. Until next week, thank you very much. Until then, good night.